Hey, how's it going? Pinder family is dead. We're missing a ton of sisters. Who will be the gallant knight to save us all?
You have your orders. The pool served to delay my inevitable death, my decay. Nothing can stop that now.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds. I'm sorry. My mind was just somewhere else. It's all in this note. Until next time.
Count 'em. 4. Can you believe it? Enough to bring down a tower. Well, if it isn't you, the blurry silhouette of my forlorn drinking days at port. Welcome to the Diablos. Let's take our dialogue to my humble office upstairs. We have some deals to make. Want some rum? Partner snagged a fresh crate last night. Straight from the island, Redguard. Now, on to business. So you found the hive. Thought it was just a rumor spreading throughout the Ashen camps. A legend to keep the spirits up. Got the location from your blue friend in Dawnstar? Smooth. The finale of our campaign. One last massacre to tell those doe-eyed freaks to get off our continent. Yes. Yes, I like it a lot. It's going to be hard to keep our blades sheathed, ma'am. Let's discuss that particular inconvenience when the time comes. I'm counting on their base's loot to pay off the bill. Give me a date and a rendezvous point so I can assemble the crew. Base of the throat of the world? Simple. We'll be there. I fancy punctuating successful deals with a glass of Tamika's Vintage 432. The last truly good year to be in the Brotherhood. If you've got friends, why not have them join the fun? Send them here. Tell them it's a pleasure cruise if you have to. The Diablos doesn't turn anyone away so long as we share the same interests. Purifying Tamriel, one ashen at a time. Oh, and pirating. done speaking. Help yourself to the spoils of a good raid. Welcome to the crew. We'll be there even if the sky is falling. Nothing is getting in the way of our revenge. Might as well talk if we're going to be working together. Let's see. Lost the Esmeralda and Eridara recently. Brings us to 5 ships, including ours. Former Brotherhood? Got 3 on deck, 4 dispersed amongst the other gals. So yeah, sizable and more tight-knit than our competitors. If they were, we'd be able to start our own damn chapter. Only 8 of us outcasts. 7 after old Eridara met his end. I've been trying to get them each their own ship and crew to call home. After the Ashen business is done with, might be able to get back to it. God damn it! You see? You see what they do to us? Holy Sithis! I knew that old coot died like a fool. But like that? Life goes on. When Eridara failed to show up at a rendezvous point, we knew they were gone. Didn't think it was Ashen. And in Doryanov, poor boy was learning fast from his old man. Good, motivated kid. Really enthusiastic. Now the whores have their ship. Bloody terrific. 11 years ago, we all joined around the time the Wayrest Sanctuary fell. We'd all been doing lackluster. Circumstances beyond our control, with Brotherhood assets collapsing all around us. The run-ins with the Ashen were the final straw. The Brotherhood was struggling to keep itself intact. Who'd care if a few lousy recruits were terminated? I'd probably done the same thing. But I'm not gonna take it out on the family. Oh no. All the Ashen's fault for ruining our lives, having a hand in destroying the Brotherhood by intruding on our territory. Nothing more to be said about the man. Let his soul rest and his killer's souls be sent to the void. More words, partner? Ah, curious? We're just regular folk making a living out on the sea. Not all of them have been with us for long, or will be. We're pirates. Can't expect the trust to flow like the booze and the gold, but they're kept in line. Got Malcha and Falcroft to thank for that. Stole it. Next question. She's got her cannons boxed up. Gotta hide her teeth around these imp-infested waters. Ripped it from a book belonging to the previous owners. Sounded a lot more menacing than their hokey name. Ours means demon or something. Don't know the origin. There's more? Catalyst? Ashen ship, yeah. How flattering! Fans everywhere! I'd welcome Ashen hunters to the crew, but they're already sailing under a flag. I reckon it's Howden's crew besmirching our name, trying to lose the imps that have been on their tail since bunking with the Shatter Shields. Backstabbing bastards. No telling how many drinks they owe me back in Dawnstar. Not sure how I feel about that. Less competition, but now the law can turn back its attention on smaller groups like us. They perished before or after the catalyst fell. Look, whoever it wasn't my boys. Dragging our name through the mud didn't work, obviously. You're here. That crafty Ashen's been around these waters since we took up pirating. Always one step ahead of us, never off guard. I had the other ships on rotation trying to catch her every now and again. That's what the Esmeralda was doing before we lost her. She's as large as they come. Come into port with a galleon like that and people know you mean business. I'm itching with curiosity to see if she's still out there abandoned and looking for a new owner. Might send one of ours to check. Hell, what time is it? Until later.
Archmage?
Greetings, Archmage.
Archmage, it is a pleasure to finally meet you. You might have already met my wife, Nolona. My name is Bedictor, a student of conjuration. Exciting. Nolona would certainly like to join as well. I'll begin studying the mission once I arrive on the ship.
I'm waiting. Take a look. I'll take my leave then.
Hey! I don't think that was part of the agenda. Unless something's changed again.
You look like someone on a mission. What can I help you with? Shouldn't it be obvious? The friend I knew for all these years is a traitor. What else do you want me to say? Yeah, facts don't lie. No matter how much I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, I just can't imagine a reason. The Maiden's spoken word, which by proxy are also Matari's. What? Commander, you're not acting yourself. That's what I would expect from the new Lilith, but not you. Maybe you should go get some rest. Get your mind cleared up.
I can spare a few minutes. We hardly knew each other for very long, so it hasn't made much of an impact. You should be asking Samantha. Those two were good friends. Can't do that. Maiden's orders. Only they and Sasha have permission. Be seeing you.
Yes?
I get so excited just talking to you. No! Do you have any idea what would happen if she gets out? She's not a happy person. She'd kill us all in the name of revenge. And you wouldn't want her to kill me, would you, mistress?
Darling, a curious request. It intrigues me. But the answer is no.
How many... There's no need for sympathy. When Matari feels the time has come, her suffering will end. Stay safe.
Let me guess. Hear about Lilith? I've got Samantha and Malene sharing guard duty. I'm the only one allowed to see Lilith, though. Given her a couple of spoiled meats from the pantry. Don't want her dying from starvation. She said a few things, made a few odd requests, but I didn't give her the time of day. Yeah, I have the key. Now, it's best you leave. I have a hunch that the mistress isn't keeping you around here just for the laughs. Nice job getting the maidens out here. Should keep the others in line. Nice job getting the maidens out here. Should keep the others in line. Can you believe what she planned to do? Lilith was my friend, and this is how she repays me?
Good afternoon.
What in the world? Ma'am, you shouldn't have come back. Take whatever else is left in there. Are they dead? Tell me. I was so close. If I had more time, maybe they would have let me go. It was Sasha that I was speaking to. She never responded, but... damn it. What am I thinking? Why did you come back for me? What did Matari ask you to do? I suspected she would try this, after the disappearances. Wasn't until the attack on the palace that I was almost certain. Are you really going to do this alone? You've proven yourself to be someone who always overcomes the odds. I trust your judgment. I'm going to lay low for a while. Once they notice I've gone missing and see the carnage I've left behind, they'll hunt me down. I'll move fast. I'll see about getting us a ship to Sky's Divide. As soon as you destroy Purity, come find me in Dawnstar. Will the outcasts be on board? Then I'll stay in Dawnstar as planned. I doubt they'd be happy to have an Ashen in their company longer than necessary. I mean... Dragonborn. No need for ranks now that we've gone rogue. Promise me that if it comes down to saving my life again, or stopping Matari, you won't let emotions get in the way. The mission comes first. One person is nothing compared to what's at stake. I highly doubt that would be a possibility, but yes, agreed. May the Divines guide you to victory. We'll talk later.
Survived. We all know that, but one can hope when you're placed up against incredible odds. But we've learned our lesson. If you can't be killed, then we'll just have to put you out of commission.
Never thought I'd see you again. I'm surprised you even remember, what with all the likely hubbub in your life compared to mine. So you were there during the attack. Luck always runs out sometime. Doesn't matter. I ended up here anyway. You can say I've gotten comfortable with how things run around here. I imagine you must have some background on this place yourself. So you know exactly where we are? Great. That'll come in handy for getting us out of here. All we need is a plan. Wait! Hear that? Someone's coming. Orders, sir? You know that man. The most we prisoners get around here are loaves of bread. Duty on as and take the first bite. I can show you the way out of here. I'll only burden you up to the lifts. Beyond that, you'll be on your own. Let's hope our pal cleared the area outside. If it's any... The exit is on the second floor, northern wall. And there's also a small storage room right above it on the third floor. I'd make a run for it and take my chances outside, but it's your call. I'm here. What's that noise? Yes? In the warden's office. You can get there through the water pumping station or from above by breaking the glass ceiling. Bothering you? It's having an effect on your mind? We'll find some way to get it off. Meantime, try to focus on what you do know. You're sure this is a good idea? The gate's opened.
Hush. Gold. Remain Houston. Who agreed to introduce the machines into our home?
Atlas's final bargain with the mercenaries.
Damn maniac. You.
Still here.
lift in the right is the definite exit, but the door is sealed.
Check for yourself. There's something odd about how it's stuck. You might as well use the other lift, but I don't know where that one will take you. I'm going to find a place to hide until my luck changes. Watch yourself, you hear?
never should have...
You're as good as dead. Can't hide from me. I can't...
Bosca has let loose the machines of war. Now Celine has sent us her assassin. Atlas, you've betrayed me. This land can shapeshift to accommodate more inhabitants. There's no need for that now. nothing but dread upon your arrival, Dragonborn. I'm without boastful words, the derisive bravado of a veteran of the Hammerfell resistance. No. Now I'm afraid. I've denied the inevitability of this moment for too long. This is the end. Are you as bewildered as I was when I first stepped into this paradise, wondering if this utopia is still on Tamriel? It isn't. Carved from the void, it is a land enraptured by bliss for eternity. A sliver of what might have come had its creator been true to her word. Only those blessed by the Creator are permitted to enter this realm. Purity, me, you. I have no say in the matter. That was her will. So when I die, the realm will be open to all, to be tainted and ransacked. But when I die, the realm will live on. After all, I am not its creator. I'm the thief. What did I steal from royalty? I stole ambition, the courage to not settle for less. Perhaps I was a fool to think I was anything more than a pawn. I'm no savior. I've allowed others to chart my life. I've only followed, not out of principle, but because it was destiny. She tricked me. Has she tricked you? I doubt it. At least you're aware of the fall. When you are ready to end this war, I will be atop the citadel in the west. 5. The last line of defense. Once you walk through that door, there will be no turning back. I should have died in 153. No home, no wealth. All I had was my younger sister. Now she's dead too. I intended to jump off the adamantine tower. That's where I met her. It would be a terrible thing to fall, she said. Celine II, my predecessor, my mistress. She gave me a reason to live. I had a purpose here in Project Purity. I was there in the Black Marsh when we unleashed the hissed weapon on the cleansers, causing
She's upstairs.
the West-Weld massacre.
Our matriarch knows we've lost, but not yours. Go and claim your victory.
That is where I became the de facto matriarch, even though Purity's true heir arose in the East. We had been abandoned, you see. It wasn't the first time Celine had died, nor will it be the last. Who was her reincarnation? should be obvious. Before you strike me down, I want you to understand what it will take to reach Sky's Divide. You must kill her, just as she sent you to kill me. It's the only way you can complete your odyssey. Now, proceed. Dragon Ball. Is that what they call you? Only now, after the fall of the Empire, the Great War, do the gods decide to send us their hero. All of Tamriel waged war after bloody war for 2 centuries. Incalculable amounts of young and old lost, yet the gods turned a blind eye. But when lust was rank in the air, when serenity and old purity aspired to expose the stark reality, they decried it as obscene. She was right. We have no choice in the matter. Your final objective stands before you, ready to die for her heresy. I am Matriarch Virgil of Project Purity, first Golden Maiden of Matari. You would listen to my final words. You spoke with my sister, Ilone. I can only hope she did not suffer. We'll speak of my life later, if you're willing to grant an old woman solace prior to her passing. Now, do you understand what this has been about ever since the first attack on Jonestead? There was never meant to be a war between Sirens and Purity. Why would there be? This has been a game whose both sides were controlled by the same player. A woman I once served and swore an oath to obey. The one you now call both your enemy and mistress, without understanding why. You may not consider her a commander, yet here you are, executing her will. Even if your loyalty is feigned, you follow orders for the time being. Regardless of why you act, you must know the motivation behind her wishes and how it all started. It always begins with a woman and a lie. Selene the First, an Altmer noble, the founder of Project Purity and mastermind behind Eurosap, unknowingly slain by Martin Septim's champion. Istis, an Ashen warlord who brought her people to the brink of freedom, only to betray them to their Saesi masters so they may remain slaves left in want. Selene II, another Ashen, and the provocateur of the Purity Pinder War that drove both sides to ruin on a quest for vengeance. At last, Matari, the savior we had all been looking for to deliver us from a life of agony she manufactured under different personas. To build an army. This world is our arena and our prison. Men will wage wars over trivialities for eternity, on behalf of the gods and kings that neglected them to begin with. They will die in conflicts that will endure millennia, spanning across eras under different monikers. It will be this way until the end of time, until all that's left is silence. But if someone were to escape their cage and rise above prophecy and destiny, they will become something more than a mortal, more than a god. They will be alive. It was a trickster that created Mundus, and it shall be a trickster that destroys it. From the remains a new world will be born, one not designed to suffer the horrors of even the most mundane lives. It would be an end to sorrow. Peace would be in abundance. At last, we would all be free. It's only when you've seen the world through her eyes that you find yourself in a position to fight for something that transcends existence itself. She wanted us to feel what she feels, broken, prepared to become her ally in one final war, or a servant for a higher cause. We've become so accepting of the status quo, no amount of reasoning would have broken us out of our trance. We had to experience the absurdities firsthand. For Purity, it was the absurdity of the war with the Pindars, a conflict that at its core had no meaning. Its only purpose was to sate our appetite for revenge. An appetite that could never be fully quenched. The Ashen are immersed in insanity, hopelessly fighting for liberty in their distant homeland to this day. They will fail, as it is their destiny to fail, as they never had a presence in history, past or future. Time will render their suffering meaningless, and their names forgotten. And for the Ashen Sirens in Tamriel, they will persevere, in a sense, by serving a new master, liberty. We may ask ourselves why we can never obtain what we fight for, but the answer is simple. Because it is impossible. I joined Purity at the end of the war with the Pindars. My heart and mind were untainted. But my brothers were not. I yearned to understand why they felt the way they did. My duties as matriarch prevented me from serving in the Great War, and Matari was too occupied with the formation of Serenity's Sirens. But I couldn't resist the call of Hammerfell. I exited that war a changed woman. Matari came to learn of my desertion, but it made no difference to her. I had completed my rite of passage and saw the truth. It's the only viable solution. Long ago, she believed rejecting the will of the gods would entail the destruction of their reality. Lust would have governed the land rather than war. Life would have continued its course of degradation, all the same, but towards the opposite side of the spectrum. Eventually, men, in their infinite pursuits fueled by greed, would have repressed their memories of a life in which every day was to be cherished. And the meaning of excess was a foreign concept. The names of divinity abandoned, morality a broken chain, a diseased world left to be molded into something greater by the will of its new god. It was not her intent by failing to expose the bigotry of divinity. The Et Ada, and even her spiritual descendants, you know as the Holy Matrons, they all rejected her vision. These same deities that confined mortals to a cycle of violence, some of whom reigned over their own realms of indulgence. either rose their hands against my former mistress or declared a stance of apathy. Why? Because the new world wouldn't be theirs to control. The hero of that age executed their desires unwittingly and killed Selene the First. And what was his reward? Godhood, along with all of its shackles. He now basks in madness, waxing nostalgic over the life he once lived as a mortal. Would he prefer to live life as a hero? No one can say for certain. But he would be remiss to have forgotten the sorrows we endure that outweigh those of a god. It is the natural order. She detests war as much as she loathes the rampant fornication stimulated by her creations. Among other abominations. To limit yourself to an ideal would be arrogant, and her mind values logic and reason over integrity. She uses war as a means to end all war. The very thing championed by gods will be turned against them, while still adhering to their sacred visions of the future. Her sirens would systematically dismantle the towers of royalty by song and bloodshed. For as many years as it would take, states and institutions would fall in a rapid succession that outpaces the recovery. It's a fate that will befall us, with or without her presence, as soothsayers, war poets, and the Elder Scrolls declare in usual ambiguous fashion. That certainty is a loophole to be exploited, and she substitutes key components of the end times so that it may arrive by her will. If the world dies by her will, it shall be reborn with her as its creator. Because she's a liar. You of all people must have heard its echoes in the void. Calling it a soul would be understating its magnificence, but it's the only word in our language that comes closest to describing it. Matari and all the avatars that preceded her answer to the raw source of knowledge and power that is imprisoned in the darkness. Salaquine. Salaquine cannot be defined by a dichotomy of benevolence. She's compelled by an intense primal instinct to have her physical and incorporeal states reunited. Her detainment is administered by the same forces that can only be undone through destruction. Whether her disciples ascend to the higher plane or are rewarded with paradise is peripheral. Salaquine will resort to any measure to secure victory, even if it means sacrificing us all. I refused to allow that possibility. I chose purity. The Hist would have proven to be a much cleaner effort than a war, but she abandoned it in favor of the Sirens, for reasons I don't understand. When all had died under its thick veil, we would assume the throne of creation and conjure an existence determined by the many. You need not show it to me. I was a fool to believe we were alone in our crusade. I'd become too trusting of all who wore the white robe and forgot that personal prejudices and devotions to external causes are impossible to fully suppress. Even if I'd forgiven his kind for their crimes, he did not reciprocate. I leave our fates to Matari, and pray for her triumph to be swift. Exactly. After all I've said, you still don't understand. The audacity you have is infuriating, but I cannot hate you. To blame you for a fault that is not willingly your own, one that is part of your inherent design, is unjust. Salaquine knows this. Thousands of years walking amongst mortals in the form of avatars, learning their strengths, their deficiencies, has made her aware of the mechanisms that threaten her ascension. She is not the reckless adversary of songs and legends who fall without effort. She knows you better than you know yourself, hero. She will break you. I've said enough. Kill me and go. Go and murder your mistress. Her death will grant you passage to Sky's Divide. It does not matter. This will end on the Dwemer Fortress Island in the north, one way or another. Not anymore. If you have lingering questions, ask them now. Nobody is perfect. Her avatar, Matari, may have made countless miscalculations, of which we'll never know. The most glorious strategies all have the capacity for failure, due to their sheer complexity. For the sake of us all, I hope hers doesn't. Not only have I never been to the Divide, it's also a sacred subject my former mistress wouldn't want me to discuss in great detail. A piece of advice before you strangle my throat for information: void constructs roam the island freely. If you rely purely on magic, then I advise you to leave the heroes to deal with the machines. For now. You would ask something of me. Towards what ends would knowledge of my life serve you? I will never speak of those days. The nightmares will die with me. You've not seen war with Thalmor, have you? I do not mean the small skirmishes here in Skyrim. No. The Thalmor of the Hammerfell Resistance were ruthless, having learned the lessons of the Great War. They were emboldened from having their atrocities go unpunished, and when Hammerfell fought back, they became more forceful. No more. It must be a blessing to have divine guidance shield you from genuine cruelty. Life seems so wonderful to your eyes, but I wouldn't trade mine to have that gift. It would be a rejection of all that I stand for. Knowing reality, I can fight for those who would never be offered that choice. I did not practice the same tactics as the Ashen Harpies. They're attributed to lust. For me, it is war. My position in the Order of the Golden Maidens lost value as Matari returned from her voyages to Akavir with new members in tow. She kept me in the Order as a memento of my servitude to Selene and as proof of confidence. My task was to lead Purity, and theirs was to protect the mistress. I was occupying a valuable position from afar. I suspect the woman known as Freya was granted significant power to pick up my slack and appease the maidens at Euphoria. There can only be 5 maidens at a time. It is a necessary rule Salaquine's avatars must abide by. Yes, before Purity, sculpting was my tradecraft in Sentinel. It's only a hobby these days. It was a commissioned work from Matari. It's the best depiction of her primordial avatar I could muster, based on its brief appearance in the marsh where Selene died. by way of Matari's teleportation. As blasphemous as it is to some, that spell has its uses. Elone, my beloved sister, is dead. A sacrifice I was willing to make to prove my loyalty to our cause. It had been so long since I last saw her. We exchanged letters. While hers offered comfort, mine were filled with lies and soulless stipends. She wanted a family, but couldn't conceive. She found happiness nonetheless in Jonestead alongside her husband. I did what I thought was right, and for a cause I believed would make us all happy. She's in a better place now, not on this celestial body. The story of my life isn't worth sharing. After all, ever since I met her on the tower, I've been a dead woman. My new life is purity. Proceed. I will only speak of Selene the First onwards. I'm not familiar with those that preceded her. Selene the First founded Project Purity upon the prejudices and misgivings of other guilds. Her first followers were promised unfettered teachings of all schools of magic and alchemy. Their descent into the forbidden arts is what made Erosap seem so natural to their perverted minds. Selene the First died by her own accord, and in a last, desperate attempt, appeared in Valhalla to stop Serenity's surge towards Pazaroth. It is where her primordial avatar was vanquished by the hero of Kavach. The gods had bested Salaquine, and Erosap died shortly thereafter. My statue captures its essence. It is the shell of a woman, nothing more. There is little I know about Istis. The Ashen revile her and would erase all evidence of her existence if they could. Her very name has entered their lexicon as an expletive. I know she was an Ashen warlord that arose in Akavir following Selene the First's death. She fought in the bloodiest campaigns of the early Fourth Era until she surrendered the locations of the Ashen Resistance's greatest leaders to the Sayesi. She never intended to emancipate an entire culture. She fought for their trust so she could put an end to an otherwise successful rebellion. My mistress, for a brief time. She spurred purity towards war and disposed of the old ideals of might through alchemy. The technical prowess of Purity's scholars brought forth many curios during her reign, but Selene II only cared about how they were used. Selene II's methodology for attacking the Pindars is difficult to explain in a concise manner. She moved her sons about the board methodically. Every blow to the Pindars was measured. Strike too hard, and they are outright defeated. Strike too soft, and Purity assets are lost. Assets. That's all we were to her. Selene II wanted to raise an army out of the Pindars. It took decades for the cleansers to be born, yet it wasn't what she desired. I will never understand how Purity managed 118 years of fighting that only came in short bursts. Neither will I understand the full scope of Selene's plan. But war changes people, and I was only there for the final 3 years. She died in the Black Marsh, harvesting hist sap. Perhaps that failure altered the course of her future as Matari. You should ask her this yourself. Then know that Matari is not the most glorious of avatars, but it's one of Salaquine's last. The end approaches, and her role is to tie up loose ends. You may not have been present for her mortal birth in the jungles of Akavir, but you will be there for her death as a god. Proceed. There are many. We should make it brief. Serenity's Sirens is a shadow of its former self. Forget their history. They serve no Pinda legacy. For all intents and purposes, they are an Ashen army, along with a few Tamrielic stragglers conditioned to serve the Great Mistress. Matari needed to re-establish old connections with the Ashen, and the expeditions to Akavir took decades. She needed something to occupy Marcus's attention in the interim. Tales of an enigmatic woman taking in Ashen under her wing have reached the heart of Akavir. The folly of worshipping idols has been overlooked by the gullible children. History has repeated. Again, they serve the same entity that damns their race to slavery. Ashen cry out for vengeance against the ephemeral oppressor, a label that can be applied to many things, from Sayesi to Loa. The siren call of Matari will rally them to her side if she ever has a need of their service. Ashen are Akaviri, and they will fight like Akaviri. It's in their nature, masked and too easily dismissed by arrogant mortals focused on appearances. They will deem you a heretic, spouting vitriol about their mistress. What difference does it make whether they live or die? There are no records of the Akaviri race known as the Ashen. Some would say they never even existed. I'm not familiar with this woman. She joined after access to information on the Sirens was severely reduced by Matari in the past decade. If it is true she serves as her right hand, I have a supposition on her identity, but I will reveal nothing. She may prove to be an instrumental piece in Matari's plans. In conjunction with Purity, they had their value. Alone, they're nothing more than another boorish band of mercenaries. The father of the tribe now has them holed up on an island, knowing the futility of their ridiculous quest of honor, justice, and every other cliché in their limited vocabulary. Everything I told you. They are a curious lot, but I'd never consider attempting to understand their ways. We thought the Void Knights had severed their connection to Nirn. Obviously that is no longer the case. Perhaps the Knights were not the sole cause of their abandonment of the Pinda family. Maybe there's a schism tearing their culture apart. Celine spoke to me of revolution. She said nothing beyond that word. I wouldn't be fixated on Serenity. She is a relic of a turbulent age whose lessons have been rendered obsolete in recent years. The Observer you speak of is someone I believe would enjoy having Matari's plans go awry. Why she pushes you toward Matari is perplexing. Ah, disciple, only time will tell. Insignificant. Do not mind them. The Pinders are expired and will never again be pawns. They've earned their rest. I already stated that the Pinders earned their rest. Proceed. If it's knowledge you crave. Our history is over 2 centuries old. There are books in the archives that chronicle our rise and our fall. Seek them out. My recounting would not do my sons justice. Habits are durable. Abolishing harmless traditions would more likely interrupt lifelong routines. I've considered allowing women into purity, but Matari has eyes everywhere on the outside. The recruitment process would have been a tremendous risk. The great shame only served to remove physical evidence of our pasts. It was a period I ushered in after Matari returned from her final trip to Akavir in 190. Matari was fully occupied with the Sirens in their newly relocated main base, Euphoria Palace. There was absolutely no chance she would return to innocence, so I had all questionable artifacts of our past destroyed and smelted. It's also when development on the lethal variant of the Hist toxin began. Advanced weapons of foreign design from Celine's mind that were used during the Pinder War. They had to be destroyed no matter their strategic value. They were impeding our concentration on the metaphysical aspect of our cause. Atlas said, if we ever had the opportunity to capture you, we should take it. Suppressing one like you is more feasible than an assassination. Assassinations never work. Here you are, as he intended, doing his work along with Matari's, purifying innocence of all its souls. All these years, I considered him to be my closest ally and a friend. In hindsight, I should have known that I would be betrayed in turn by someone, if not myself. Karmic retribution from Salaquine, I imagine. It was not my call. Atlas negotiated a deal with Bosca for additional men to defend innocence. I wasn't aware there wouldn't be men at all. We're virtually defenseless against void automatons. They absorb all magical attacks. My death will be felt by all of Purity's sons. The lost will take their own lives before Matari's Sirens arrive to deliver a crueler punishment. Those who'd rather live for a while longer will flee this place as fast as they can. Their destinations will be unknown until they're fatigued. Purity will live on in their hearts as a figment of the past best left where it belongs. A handmaid. The position is a relic of Celine I's Project Purity, before the Golden Maidens and before women became marked for abuse. Most of my time in high splendor has been spent here in meditation. In times of peace, she managed my daily schedule. Proceed. They've all been decommissioned. All that's left is innocence and the 2 that have been gifted to the Sirens. Innocence, once known as Moloch Khan, will remain as it always was, a myth. Only the intrepid explorers will find it, and even they will not be able to resist keeping it a secret. High Splendor, on the other hand, will crumble. Without its creator or her favorite guardians to tend its lush gardens, it will eventually merge back with the void. It was built using our resources, a prison for slaves, its purpose fulfilled 2 centuries later by Matari. It is a hive of decadence. The flies swarm to its poisoned mounds of honey. realizing only in their dying moments they'd been lured into a trap. A defenseless stronghold leaving its guardians in a perpetual state of insecurity, a fear of war that remained elusive for decades. It also served as a bog of misinformation. Disconnected from the palace, it's where Matari claimed Zell resided, and where Serenity was heralded as an icon that could not be shown to the people, for she was a fraud. I still remember the day when we laid explosives at her shrine. It was my one assignment outside of Purity, and the only time I met the other maidens. I don't understand what Matari wanted to transpire out of us working together. Perhaps she needed to show them proof of my existence. Proceed. Make sense, child. She made me see. The only one that provided clarity of what I want to be true. Always holding me back, keeping me at arm's length from taking Purity for myself. I understand now. It was always my choice. I can finally...
Here I am, as promised. So, mission accomplished? Better bring armor, weapons, and healing supplies. Better yet, hire some more crew. All for precaution, of course. Head on over to the Ashen base. I'll be there in a few. Want to take care of any stragglers that pop their heads out? Get some last-minute practice. Get moving.
Whatever you did obviously worked. Lifts are up and running again. Never a disappointment with you lending a hand. No one was behind me. All the overseers went further into the cavern, probably to stop you. The prison must be abandoned now. Give it a few hours and I'm sure anyone else still alive down there will resurface. They've got the lockpicks, they were just lacking the fighting spirit. I don't know. Jones said it was meant to be my last stop. now. Bah. Somewhere close to the sea, maybe. Not in Skyrim. Somewhere warm. I'm going to stop by that small town over there, across the bridge, and get some rest. When I'm feeling ready, I'll take the first carriage out of this province. Don't take this the wrong way, but goodbye. For good. Sir Owen? Huh? Oh no. What's wrong? Well, she saved me. The orcs and Altmer woman were the last to fall. Too much even for them. The Pinder girl held back Bosca's men long enough for me to get out. Now I know this isn't what you want to hear, but she did well that day. More than most any of us among the living could. I'm sure her father would have been proud. I hid in an outcrop not too far from the town, waiting for someone like you to help. That's how I got picked up by an overseer and dragged into prison. Funny how we ended up in the same cell. There's stories of how... Forget it. I only talked to the man a few times, but I'm sure Marcus would be the first to say everything happens for a reason. Even if it means the death of his daughter, or our encounter in the cells. Maybe not content, minimum he'd be is accepting. It always works out in the end. It's a guarantee. That's the reason why the town was always barred access to weapons. Never put up much resistance, but here I am casting aspersions on the poor fellow post-mortem. Maybe it's just me having lived through one too many catastrophes, but isn't it all so extreme? Don't run off and claim this sage advice or a cure for our ails, but what this place needs is a dose of common sense. Someone to show young ones how to walk a line of pragmatism. Look, what I'm trying to say is that I don't want you going on some sort of revenge crusade for anyone. I'm looking out for my own skin here. First time was a jail cell. I'd hate to see what would be next. Take care of yourself for once.
Hope you don't mind us letting ourselves in early. Gates raised. Main entrance is sealed shut. Some high-grade explosive would shatter the door, but I don't think that's what you have in mind. We did a quick sweep. All perimeter was deserted. I'm warning you. If this is a trap... No one? That better pertain only to our side. You got to understand. We've been at this for years, and it's all going to end today. Hard to keep our excitement in check. Nah, I'll be good. It's just the adrenaline kicking in. I've got a handle on it. Yeah, so what's the score? We going in fighting? Got it. Let's go.
Yes?
Need something?
There. How do we open it? Ah, got someone to check us in. All a part of the plan, huh? Whoa, whoa, whoa! We're letting her walk away? Cut the act and speak. I know what's going on here. Classic scam. We let you waltz out of here, we go into the next room, and down we go. Ah! You believe this? That's not the point. She's escorting us into an ambush. I just know, okay? Does her leader trust you? Where's the guards? You're defending her? Tell me, what does that say about our partnership? Then we're only delaying the inevitable. They will turn on us. Right. We'll see how that turns out. Things are getting interesting. I love it. So, I was wrong. Big goddamn deal. Doesn't mean we should calmly walk into the heart of darkness.
Unbelievable.
We doing this or what? You dragged me all the way here without killing a single Ashen. I hope that's changed when you walk back through that door. Got this? If that's their esteemed leader in there, I don't think soon is the proper term. Have a good fight.
Halt. Have you? She's still alive. There is no place for mercy in this life. Continue on that course and you will meet the same fate as your Argonian compatriot. Do you blame me? There's an advantage in being this way. You have no reservations about who you aggrieve. It's time for me to go, for me to abide by your rules. I can't kill you, because I'm trying to save us. Deal with these diversions. Your first challenge is Selene II, a woman remembered fondly by Virgil, going as far as to emulate her every aspect, even her defects. All Ashen owe their lives to Istis. Did she betray them? Yes. And in doing so, she made them stronger. It was for the greater good. I hope one day you will see what I see. Then you will know why there must be no limits to sacrifice if we are to save this world. One last combatant. There's no need for introductions. She'll be dead soon.
Can't believe my eyes. That's her? That's their leader? Obviously. Damn. Just look at her. I have to confess that I'm a bit disappointed. She didn't put up much of a fight like I'd been hoping. You don't know? You went through that door. We gave you a few minutes and heard nothing. Figured either the two of you were wasting time talking, or she killed you. We went in and found the two of you passed out on the floor. Dragged the hag out and clubbed her to death before she could wake up. You dozed off. Someone had to take that kill while we were still young.
I wish you had fallen for the staged incident on the Catalyst. Matari did what she could on such short notice to deter you from seeking his aid. Dmitri has no morals. He is what you would call a villain. This man doesn't fight abominations in service to a higher cause. He does it because he enjoys the suffering of others. You should hate this man and all that he symbolizes. Take his life and then take his ship before he betrays you.
How often does it happen? Your sickness, that thing you just did, your mind shutting off and staring into space. You've been with the Ashen too long. Whatever disease they've got, you've got. I'll give you a while longer before it kills you. Last time I saw someone act like that, it was one of my old companions minutes before he jumped ship, trying to drag one of my men along with him. Same as what you're dealing with? Don't know. Just keep your distance. Talk? Now? Ah, hell. She knows. Planning on assassinating us, Ashen?
I was considering it.
You didn't go through with it. Scared?
No. Intrigued. You just killed my mistress, a woman I swore an oath to defend with my life. Now that she's dead, I am obliged to either submit to death or agree to your demands.
I'm tempted to choose the former.
Kill me, and there will be no one to convince the sirens that their mistress is still alive. Then you'll have to kill them too.
I'm calling your bluff.
Willing to take that risk? Be my guest. What's it going to be? Life or death? I'll tell them what they want to hear. Matari is alive and well, but wishes for you, the killer of purity, to speak on her behalf. They lead it right up, like all the other lives. They will destroy you. For all intents and purposes, you're the new leader of Serenity Sirens. If you want a graceful transition, you can't besmirch the name of your predecessor, one they still believe is their messiah. When pulling of the greatest charade since Matari, you have to be a little humorous. But you can count on me, Commander. I'll tend to your ship.
This needs to end now. You understand me? There's no more we. We're finished here. What are we going to do about her? You're lucky I don't have my men just kill her. And you. Consider our contract on neutral terms for a while longer. Your lucky day.
Yeah. The Sirens are expecting an official declaration of victory. I need to assemble them in the armory.
When all of your friends wrap up the meeting, you're going straight to the freezer.
The freezer? Then I hope your men plan on keeping me warm.
You have some mouth, Ashen.
And I'm planning on using it.
Strange friends you've brought along. Hey everyone! Is Mistress Matari fine with them being here?
Matari asked us all to remain indoors shortly after you left. I'm not sure of the reason. Need something?
Wait. Everything you said about Matari being in pain. Is it true that her final moments were peaceful? Good. I'm glad.
Congratulations! Got no one to kill each other. I've got 2 of my men keeping watch over that shifty-eyed Ashen dressed in black. They'll take her to the freezer as planned. You want your peace to last, they're gonna have to stay behind. Any problems with that? I figured since she was the only one with a working brain around here, we'd have to do something to shut her up. Better off just killing her. But there's you. You and your damned peace. I've already told the men not to make the first move. Someone tries to poke their nose on the fact that we're taking a prisoner, she'd better keep them off of us. The Ashen will comply if she doesn't want any of her friends getting hurt. Great, because the only alternative was just to call this whole thing off and get the killing. We doing this or what?
Yes?
Not as so gratifying as I'd wanted, but better than nothing. Good job. You've got them back in their kennels. They're going to chain me up in the ice box. The ice box. Can you believe these monsters?
Purity may be gone for good. It doesn't hurt to buy a few new weapons for the lesser dangers.
Any idea how many corpses could be in the bars and brothel? Matari's ordered them to be sealed off indefinitely.
The Sirens did good work
But
cleaning
no one
up
is
the
still
battle
alive
scars
in
and
there.
deceased, but these halls have forever changed.
I'm waiting.
Purity is gone, but something's off. I feel disappointed that our work is done.
Yes? Need something?
Yes?
Your Brotherhood friends can barely hold it together. Eventually, one of them is going to pull a stunt, and I'm going to have to bite. Nah, I'm just being cheeky. But take a look at the kid at the door. You know he'll be the first one to break.
Finally, some fresh air. Up until now, a part of me still had faith that you'd snap out of that trance and give us the signal. Disappointed, lady. You better have a damn good argument. Back there, you told me she won't be leading in the immediate future. An island? Sea of ghosts? I'll read up on your report back at my place. If what you say is not a ruse to get us all killed, I'm in. I saw Matari die back there, but I know there's got to be more to it than that. As much fun as it was the first time, I wouldn't mind doing it again. See you on the ship.
Rhyme? Signal! Yes? I asked them to turn away when you went to the Pazarath rooftops to talk to Serenity. I asked them to help on the search for Trisha. They were increasingly hesitant with each request. I knew they wouldn't have gone along with our plans. Samantha was my friend, but friendships in the Sirens are second to loyalty. They had to die. Okay. Where did you get this? They do not know me. That isn't my name. It never was. No matter what that book tells you. Do me a favor. Throw that book away. Affirmative.